The hosts at the Fox propaganda outlet are panicking because their two favorite corrupt criminals and unfortunately our co-presidents in Donald Trump and Elon Musk are seeing their popularity tank. And every day their actions become more and more indefensible, which is a problem for Fox because propaganda for those two is kind of their whole job. But usually they get to do it in the comfort of their own little nice bubble. But that bubble just got burst by AOC, who directly called out Fox host Jeanine Pirro in a brutal live takedown that we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we can see the brutal takedown that AOC delivered right at Judge Jeanine, unfortunately, we have to see what she said. A strange defense of Elon Musk in an attack on Tim Walz.
Not only DEI and not only the USAID sending money for the, all these crazy shows, but we found out that there are people who are between the ages of 1 and 4 are getting Social Security, that we've got something like $69 million of taxpayers who are dead.
Okay, but let
me just finish. But the problem is this, that the Democrats demand a full statement that Elon Musk is going to be gone. If I had a Tesla, I would put it in the garage because we don't know if those 130 days have to be consecutive. And what if he decides 130 days is not May 30th? That's number one. Number two, for Walz to say that Elon is a greedy bastard, this is a guy who dumped his battalion before they were about to be deployed. This is a guy who went to China. I mean, I wonder if he paid taxes on the money he made when he was teaching in China, because he kept going back. And the last thing I want to say is that Elon Musk has paid $10 billion in taxes, and stop saying that the guy never paid taxes. I hate it when they lie.
So I'm glad that Jessica Tarlov is pointing out the obvious there, that there's nothing wrong with affording protections for kids whose parents have died. I don't know why that's controversial. I also hate that Republicans and conservatives really just all across the board spin this, tax the rich thing as well. Oh, they already paid so much. It's like, yeah, if Elon Musk is worth $400 billion and he's paid $10 billion in taxes, that doesn't really seem to be computing. Right? If you make $100,000, you're not like, oh, well, I paid my fair share. I paid $500 in taxes this year, right? That's good enough. Like that would be the comp. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, all their billionaire buddies pay a lower effective tax rate than firefighters and teachers. Just because they pay more in the lump sum doesn't mean they're paying the same amount. Doesn't mean they're contributing equally. We're not asking them to pay more. We're asking them to pay the same. That shouldn't be too insane. And then we'll ask them to pay more. But all of that led to AOC delivering a brutal takedown of Judge Jeanine that we just got to take a look at right here.
Because of course, it is a system that depends on division to enable its inequality that will favor a president who is the best at dividing us and the most skilled at corruption. And it will also reward the Republicans in Congress who support that agenda, no matter what crimes are committed, including crimes from the White House. Big money is how we got Donald Trump. His whole presidency began with launching tools for bribery, meme coins and cryptocurrencies to fleece normal people and move money in the dark, extortion settlements from media companies and law firms who gladly pay the price. And he even removed duly elected officials, including Republican ones, from the chamber of the inauguration to make room for who he really wants in charge, the unelected billionaires who were standing behind him. They have one central economic mission: to make billionaires richer at the expense of all of us. So it does not surprise us that their first economic mission has been to smear and target Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security, to file fire our federal workers and to abandon our veterans for hundreds of billions of dollars in cuts so that they can hand that money off to their donors. And the things that they say are crazy. Crazy. Medicaid is one of the most efficient and effective public systems, lowest in fraud that we have in the United States. Just yesterday, I saw on television, on Fox News, you had this woman, Jeanine Pirro. Crazy thing about Jeanine Pirro is that she's from Westchester County, where I went to public school, and it's like, wow, how things have evolved there. Anyways, so Jeanine Pirro goes on television. She says, as though this is fraud, she says that they found so many babies and 2-year-olds and 4-year-olds who were receiving Social Security. I've got a notice for you, Jeanine Pirro. Those babies get Social Security because their parents died. That's not a waste. That's humanity. That's America. That's the country that we fight for. Those are the promises we make to one another. That is what it means to be in a civilized society. It's not waste. It is the best of us. Folsom, I know that it at times can look impossible out here for the Republicans to be defeated. But that is not true. It is simply not true. From the waitress who is now speaking to you today, I can tell you impossible is nothing. Miracles start with mustard seeds, and that is what each and every one of you represent today. Small miracles of faith in ourselves, in each other, and in the refusal to give up.
Well done. I have so enjoyed the anti-oligarchy tour. How could you not? We need our best communicators, which certainly AOC and Bernie are exactly that, out on the road. And I love that they're doing this in red states and red districts. There was an Idaho district that was won by Trump last year. It was like 50 points that AOC and Bernie in. Is like a town of 50,000 somehow. They brought in 20,000 people. And AOC said, yeah, we're showing up because there's people who want us to show up. I love that energy. I love that agency that has been given to the organizing that's happening in these crowds. It is so incredible for us to realize that we have the power to shape public opinion and get big institutions like we just saw with Harvard to recognize the wind is blowing behind the backs of the resistance, right? If you go up against Trump, we will back you. We will be there. Do not capitulate. Do not bend the knee. Fight back. That's what AOC and Bernie are doing. And on that, I just want to hear more from AOC. Let's take a look.
But Folsom, this is why Donald Trump is not an aberration. He is the logical, inevitable conclusion of an American political system dominated by corporate and dark money. And if we are to defeat him, we must defeat the system that created him. Money in politics is the hand of oligarchy. America, we are at a crossroads. We can either have extreme wealth inequality with the toxic division and corruption that it requires to survive, or we can have a fair economy for working people along with the democracy and freedoms that uphold it. Or democracy, but we cannot have both. I grew up in a working class family. My mom cleaned houses, and my dad worked on a small business. And my parents worked themselves to the bone so that my brother and I could just have a shot. The American dream. And for a moment there, it looked like we were going to make it. We had a home, bills bills were getting a little less stressful to pay, and I was doing well in public school. And what may have looked like a modest life to others was a dream come true for us. But suddenly, when I was a teenager, my dad was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And after a long fight, we lost him. My dad actually passed away in September of 2008, just as the economy crashed in the Great Recession and millions of jobs across the country vanished. It felt like the little world of our family fell apart, just as the larger world was falling apart too. And overnight, my mom was left alone to figure out how to provide and put 2 kids through school, keep our house, pay off our medical bills, all on a house cleaner's salary. And that is how I became a waitress, to help pay the bills. Because at that time, just as it is now, it was millions of working families who paid the price, while billionaires and thieves who defrauded our financial system got off richer than ever before. And not a single one of them went to jail. And now that is the story that Republicans mock. Not mine, but all of ours, when they say that a waitress or a working person is unqualified to serve in Congress. But the fact is, Folsom, many of us are far more qualified to know what real life is really like than any of them ever will. And I tell this story not because it is special, but because of how common and normal it is, and how normal this barbarism is of how so many people are allowed to live.
We're doing claps again. We're doing claps. Usually we do that. It's usually just reserved for Jasmine Crockett, but AOC, come on now. These are 2 of our best. How can we not clap it up for them? I'm smiling. This gets me excited. Not just because these are 2 of our best communicators, not just because they deliver the message so well, but it is instructing other Democrats to get out there and do the same. We saw Chris Murphy, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Bernie Sanders have their best fundraising first quarters ever. And it's because people are behind them. That shows other Democrats, do the work. We're going to be there with you. Right? Your support goes a long way. It really means a lot to me. And it is telling Democrats how they need to act. And we're also going to do that on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you soon.